is Andrew Wilson, and I'm doing my Songshare presentation on Lucky, with the words and music by Jason Mraz, Colby Calais, and Timothy Fagan. This is a song that my wife and I really enjoyed for many years, and it's been a lot of fun to take a deeper look at how the song is organized and some of the imagery, the lyrics, and the chord progression that go along with this song. So I hope that I can share some of my excitement about the song with you. So I'm going to start with the hook, and basically the hook is the whole chorus. Each line of the chorus, the first time happens, and then the second time it repeats. Each line starts with Lucky, and so it's the hook. It's what you hear for a good portion of the song. So I included here some of the lines of the chorus, well, all the lines of the chorus. So say, lucky I'm in love with my best friend, lucky to have been where I've been, lucky to be coming home again. And then they sing a really neat duet when the chorus repeats. They sing, lucky we're in love in every way, lucky to have stayed where we have stayed, and lucky to be coming home someday. So that's the hook, and it's quite memorable. And I'll talk a little bit more later about how this helps the imagery and kind of the story of the song. I thought the poetic meter was very interesting, and talking about this poetic meter will kind of help understand the organization of the whole song. So during the verses, the meter is actually quite irregular. So for example, the first singing of the chorus, the meter is 8, 10, 8, 7. And then when it switches from Jason to Colby singing, her verse is 7, 9, 8, 10. So it's quite irregular. And when we talk about melody, we'll see a similar pattern there. When it gets to the chorus, it's very regular meter. Each line has 9 syllables. So that's very regular. And then the bridge is also fairly regular. There's 4 lines that each have 7 syllables, and then the last line of the bridge has 10. So pretty well organized there. So when I was first dissecting this, that was the first thing I noticed, was the meter. And then I started making more connections, and we'll talk about it. So the rhyme scheme I thought was very interesting as well. In the verses, the rhyme scheme is fairly regular, as an A-A-B-B pattern for the rhyme scheme. But I noticed that they took a lot of poetic license. So some of the rhymes are dreams and sea, which my wife didn't think that rhymed, but yeah, I think it does. That's what they're going for. And then heart and hard. Again, you might argue whether or not that rhymes, but that's how they made it work. And then something I thought was interesting too was some of the lines didn't rhyme at the end of the line. They rhymed in the middle of the line, which I thought was interesting. But then again, we'll see that in the chorus, the rhyming pattern and rhyming scheme is very regular. It's a CCC pattern, so each of those 3 lines in the chorus rhyme. And they're obvious rhymes, it's not kind of contrived like I think. And then also the bridge has a fairly regular pattern. D, D. So we looked at the meter and it was 7, 7, 7, 7, 10. So the second of each of those 7s rhymed. So D, D, and then the last line didn't have a rhyme. But so again, we're starting to see that the verse not very, it seems not to be organized, and the chorus and the bridge are much more organized. In melody, I thought this was interesting, and it follows the same pattern that we've been looking at. In the verses, the melody seems to be more conversational, and it's slightly disjunct. There isn't a certain rhythmic pattern or melodic pattern that seems to tie it together. And if you look at the lyrics, right at the beginning, do you hear me talking to you? Across the water, across the deep blue ocean, under the open sky, oh my, baby, I'm trying. So he's calling out to his love, and I think the rhythm and the melody just match that quite well. And then Kobe responds, boy, I hear you in my dreams. I feel your whisper across the sea. I keep you with me in my heart. You make it easier when life gets hard. So they're just having a conversation. Long distance, and I'll get to that when we get to imagery. And so I thought the melody and the rhythm really match that. It's conversational, the rhythm matches what they're singing. There's not really a steady pattern that repeats in there. But in the bridge, it's slightly more organized. There's little movement in the melody for the verse. There's quite a few big leaps. There's some octave leaps, some sevenths, things like that. But in the bridge, it's mostly stepwise. There's a few thirds in there, but very stepwise, and it really doesn't move very much. It's not scalar, it's mostly around a single pitch, which I thought was interesting. And the lyrics for this, they don't know how long it takes, waiting for a love like this. Every time we say goodbye, I wish we had one more kiss. I'll wait for you, I promise you, I will. And I really like that. Here are these lovers, they're obviously in a long distance relationship. They're singing about how lucky they feel, how happy they are to have each other, even though they're not together. And I think this bridge is interesting because people in a good relationship like that, sometimes people might think, oh, you know, yes, you are lucky, and I wish I had it good, and how lucky you are to have found the one you love. But this bridge, I think, it's letting everyone know, we worked for this. We worked for this relationship, and we do feel lucky, but it's not easy, especially a long distance. Anyway, and then going on to the chorus, I feel it was really interesting again to look at that, because here the chorus in many ways is very well organized, and I think the melody is much more organized than in the verses, and even the bridge, even though the bridge is more organized than the verse. So the chorus is arch-shaped. It rises to a climax and then falls. So it goes up, mix of scalar and some leaps in there, some intervals, then descends, mostly scalar. So I thought that was interesting. And the chorus, they always sing together. Verses they sing solo parts. The chorus, they sing together. The bridge, they kind of echo, which I thought was fun too. So again, the chorus seems to be the most organized in several aspects. The chord progression was fun to look at. It's not one of those songs where they play 4 chords and that's all you hear. There's a very good mix of chords in there. But something I thought that was interesting was the verses and the coda are in C major. So C seems to be the home chord for those parts of the song. But they wander away. You hear D minor 7, E7, G sharp diminished chord, A minor. So they definitely travel quite a bit through the chords, and for me it makes a really interesting song. And the chorus and the bridge, I thought they did something really cool. They based it in D Dorian. So they use some of the same chords that you hear in the verse and coda, but since it's based in D Dorian, it gives it a very different feel, and I think it adds a little bit more depth and meaning to the song. And again, you see some of the chords there: D minor 7, G7, G sus4, A minor 7, and C. But mixing between C major and D Dorian, again, just gives it a really nice feel. And then something else with the chords that I think is really interesting is for the verses, it's muted guitar. So you do have a hard time actually hearing those differences in the chord. They're there, and you can hear them changing the chords, but since it's muted, it has a very interesting feel to it. And then the chorus and the bridge, they open up, and it has a very nice feel. Talk about imagery real quick. Like I said, it's two lovers. They're obviously separated by a long distance, and they're both very positive about their relationship. They're very much in love, and they're pining for each other, but it's not. The song isn't melancholy, and the song isn't sad in any way. They're very positive, and you can tell they feel blessed and lucky to have each other, even if they're far apart. And like I mentioned, the bridge, they sing about how hard they worked for their relationship, finding each other and making things work, especially with that long distance. And then just throughout, you really get the sense of that, how lucky and blessed they feel, and how hopeful they are, even though they're far apart. The last verse they sing is about meeting someday on an island, and that's why I put that picture there. So I imagined a tropical island. They're happy and excited to meet each other again. So again, this is one of my favorite songs, and I really enjoy it, and it has been a joy to dig in deeper and learn more about this song. So hopefully you enjoyed hearing about it.